And hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. I am the Bardic Knock. I am the game master for today as we play session 9 of Digimon Digital Adventures Digital slash Crash. Ooh, Michael Wayne is hosting my stream, and I just realized
That's the thing.
I did not change my audio output to there. There we go. So that will be less strange on recording. There we go. And yes, blah 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 blah. I said who I am. I will give. Aha! Wonderful is now hosting a stream. Wunderbar, wunderbar, wunderbar. I will give a recap of events and basically set the scene for everything and such and what's it in a moment after my lovely players say words and such. Players, go. ATB, you are alphabetically first.
I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I forgot something important and it's going to bug me for the rest of my days, and then I'm going to be on my deathbed and then I'll suddenly remember and then I'll be like, oh fuck, and then I'll die.
I mean, 2.5 Men meme, if you can't remember it, it probably wasn't important.
Yeah, that's true. And just cuts to something. Anyway.
Sorry, I just remembered that I have to make doctor's appointments.
Oh.
Never, it's completely unrelated. Carry on.
Where can we find you attired by?
I'm attired by. You can't really find me anywhere for this month. Is Rebel still going on for this month, Bardic?
I need to message people and find out.
Okay, because that might be the only thing that I'll really be part of if that's the case, aside from here.
Didn't you sign up for like 3 of my... never mind.
Oh yeah, those two. I mean like I haven't... You buy me the tip dip...
I'm sorry, signing up for things that Kay is running? Is that a thing?
Yes, I will tell people about that to you shortly.
DM me, please. Okay.
Please.
And sorry. Also, what Kay mentioned, or was also, she's also running one-shots in as replacement for Curse of Strahd because that's on hiatus this month, and I completely forgot about it, despite the fact that I just signed up, and I am very sorry, my brain is not here.
Okay.
But yeah, if I'm chosen for any of those, then I would be in those on the dates that they're on.
Yeah. And who are you playing?
Am I forgetting anything else?
Who are you playing?
I'm playing as Rukia. I'm playing as Rukia Nakamura, this sweet nerd punk child, alongside her partner Senglutmon, who is just giant wolf. Okay. Big giant wolf. Big fluffy. I think did I remember everything? I'm so sorry. I don't know what.
That is all the things. You're good.
Okay.
Next we have Kay.
Hi, I'm Kay, aka Undead Kay. I do things on the internet. You can find me on Twitter at K_undead. You can also find me on my own Twitch channel, which you can just search Undead K and find, all one word. And yes, I am actually doing a few things because people having finals and with it being, the holiday season and that sort of a thing, we are putting Curse of Strahd temporarily on just a hiatus. Things will pick back up in January, but this month I'm running a holidays one-shot series thing. Few different. I think I've got like 4 different one-shots planned, one for each week. Every one of them will be on Thursdays except for the week of Christmas. That'll be on a Tuesday. But anyway, yeah, it's a thing that's happening and putting together and stuff and junk. And yeah, stuff. Today I am playing Miyahara and Impmon, aka Wizardmon, aka yeah. That's me.
Alright, wonderful. Next up we have Michael. Michael, who are you?
Hello, I'm Michael Wayne. You give me a clip, I'll give you a GIF. Today I will be playing Billy Bliss with the possibility of Aberntmon Desperamon, and Toradamon as well, depending on how things occur. You can find me normally on Tuesdays on Raven's channel for Hunters of Calamity, a Borderlands-inspired tabletop RPG. And Friday, you can see me on Go JG's channel for her Before the Spire Falls, part of their indie game spotlight, on Friday evening about 8 p.m. Central Time.
What channel is that, sorry?
Go JG. So GO, the space bar thingy that's a line. Then
Dash
J,
or
the
underscore?
letter. Yeah, underscore.
Mhm.
Then J, then G.
Okay, so go underscore JG. So
Yeah.
wonderful, thank you. And yeah, awesome. Is that everything?
Aren't we forgetting about K?
Uh,
Doing the intro?
No, we're asking on your end.
yeah, I was just asking for you before I throw
I'm
down
done.
to Vin.
There's a puppy!
There is. I think he's a kind of uncomfortable puppy. I found out with the loss of a tooth.
Oh.
Oh.
He's also pathetic and just enjoying the cuddle. So
Oh.
you can have that for a minute.
Anyways, hello, I am Kat. I am at Vindifly on most things on the interwebs. My brain just rebooted. Okay, fun. Where was I? Right. I have my own Twitch channel, which I usually stream Mondays and Thursdays, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I just haven't the past couple of like days. First it was a turkey break, and then Monday just said no. So hopefully I'll stream tomorrow. Hopefully. I am playing Katarina, who is a sweet, soft bean, pacifist, good child, super hacker. And her partner, who is currently named Kitty, and will potentially be renamed when he eventually digivolves. But for the time being, Kitty is a
Alright.
cat, and it's great.
Wonderful. Okay. Recap time. Last time we were in Mount Infinity, the hub world, which had clearly not existed until Megami got in here. They seem to manipulate and create basically a debug code area, which functioned as some kind of hub for people to move and interact in. And they had done some very nefarious stuff, including forcibly removing the free will of various Digimon. We fixed that. We fixed that real fast. And then, not wanting to stick around to find out what would happen when they found who did that, the group did a quick runaway towards the White Waste. So we ended stepping out into a giant snowfield where Kat used her mega hacker skills to basically apply shop menus to Digimon, allowing Larry Joe and his now newly evolved Upamon, which is an adorable tiny little ball, to function as basically like a weapons and armory shop, allowing you all to get some cold resistant equipment. We all have fun new winter outfits, and that's basically where we ended off last time. Does anybody have anything they immediately want to do, or should I do some DM scene painting?
I think I think everybody was just kind of like waiting for their turn / like picking out wintry clothes so we didn't freeze.
Yeah.
Is where we left it last time. So I think I would guess that by this point everyone has done the thing.
Yeah.
for example, Billy and Leomon have these branded hats that have a little star T-Rex on them that looks really cool, and that's keeping the cool away from them. Because they just are so cool.
Yeah, logic. It works. Don't question it. Well, I'm gonna pop this soft, pathetic little boy down. And
Oh.
yes, hello. And then I'll try and DM properly. Look at him. Good boy.
So sad.
He's not sad. He's just pampered. Okay. So DM scene painting. It's white. It's a whole lot of whiteness. It's not like you're stuck in a snowstorm, but it does appear to be perpetually snowing. This slightly hampers vision. You can see a decent way, but much less than you normally would be able to in clearer conditions. The snow beneath your feet is crunchy. Makes that good crunch when you take steps. It's definitely cold. It feels very snowy, but you now have cold protective stuff, so it's not like, ooh, we're freezing, gonna die. It's like, oh, okay, can deal with this. So you could definitely mess around and have snow shenanigans, or you can try and figure out how to progress. If you were to bring up some kind of, well, you have Larry Joe, and he has the world map, so it could basically go whoosh his vague layout. Or you could just say, all right, let's go wandering. Let's find where stuff be.
Okay.
What did I? Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. It was just description of the winter wonderland was all that was being. That's all you missed out on.
Okay, sorry. Family is life.
It's okay.
Brain's kind of just.
Real life comes first. It's okay. So, I imagine kind of like just Billy's gonna go on a point. Is it that way? To like Billy Joe or anyone that knows what they're doing.
So Billy Joe apparently just materializes, sat with,
Larry Joe. Sorry.
Billy Joe, who. Okay, so we're going Billy Joe as in the lead singer of Green Day, or we're going Billy Joel, who's just like wheels on fire with piano.
I just
Yeah,
funnier.
Billy
There's just
Joel.
yeah, just someone in the background is playing a piano sounds funnier.
They just wheel on by, and that's it. It's a hilarious cutaway gag, but it's never referenced ever again.
It's a big lipped alligator moment.
Yeah. Okay. So you ask Larry Joe where stuff is, right? And Larry Joe, he'll pull out his Digivice, his walkie-talkie Digivice, press some buttons, make like a small 3D map, and tap onto the white waste. It zooms in on the area and goes, well, having a little look around. There's a couple of settlements. I believe that some of these smaller ones, they're like Digimon villages. I reckon they are supposed to function as like a small rest and hubs, to like stock up on items and supplies and such. One is not meant to be too far away from here, so I reckon if we just walk on, we'll find something.
In that direction, then, and Billy starts running off in that direction.
Advice not going too far because snow can make people hard to. Okay.
All right.
Singlet just watches him go off like, well,
Billy, are you like running? Are you marching? Are you? How does this go?
Slow enough that Leomon and Billy are in tune, so they're both like stepping the same distance, but they're going forward in the direction that Larry Joe pointed. just trying to progress the plot.
Okay. And everybody else. I assume you go, Billy, wait, what? No, oh, and just catch up?
I mean,
yeah.
I think Katarina is still on the pupper.
Mm.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Still on the pupper.
As long as you want
so-
to be on the pupper, you can be on the pupper.
That would be lovely. So she's just gonna like chill on the pupper, and she's currently she's tapped open her Digivice visor with the little hologram keyboard and everything, and she's currently going through files and searching for things. TM.
Okay.
Thanks, trademark.
Bardic knows what she's looking for.
Yeah. I know what you are searching for. Do you want to say out loud what you are searching for?
I don't know. I kind of don't want to like say anything until she actually finds something,
Okay.
because right now she's just like
I mean,
in her own little.
once again, because you are ridiculous at your computery stuff, you don't really need to roll, considering you have what, a plus 28.
And I'm not even really doing anything all that difficult. I'm just what she's
Exactly.
doing is she's going through the files she's already downloaded and just searching them for keywords.
Yeah. So you certainly do not have to roll anything. So you definitely find what you are searching for. I mean, you already asked me this out of game, and basically, like I said there, you don't find any players with the kind of keywords that you are searching for.
Mm.
However, you do find one member of staff listed on this Megami ID code bucket 24601. There we go. There's the other musical reference.
Yes!
24601.
And
Yes!
the keywords are highlighted, and there is a name that you might find somewhat familiar. The name, because it just says the surname, and it just says Nakamura.
What?
Dun dun dun!
Okay, well, fun times. So this is a staff person.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Larry Joe.
Yep.
Do you know a person by the name of... Wait, hold on. Wait. My brain's trying to remember. If that's... Billy Joe said he knew someone...
Billy Joel just flies by again.
Sorry, Larry Joe! Damn it!
Just all of a sudden you hear
Combining
bum, bum,
Billy
bum.
with Larry Joe, and it's just Billy. No. Larry Joe. I remember. God, it was ages ago. But he did say, when I asked him like if he had people that he knew ages ago, back when we were still in the fort in the woods, he said he knew someone. Is that who this is, or is this a name that I'm supposed to recognize because it's related to the Digimon universe?
Okay, so the name Larry Joe gave as a potential friend, who was one of the reasons you were coming for White Waste as well, Larry Joe named him as Dr. N. N for Nope.
N for Nope?
Yeah, just because I needed the phonetic alphabet and I couldn't remember it was meant to be November, because I'm a big dumb. But you will definitely know this name, and it's not because it's related to the actual Digimon universe. You should remember it, because it gets said at the beginning of every single session, right after ATB introduces her character.
Oh! Oh, sorry.
It
It
took
was
you a
very
bit.
familiar, but I forgot that see, here's the thing. Katarina doesn't really have a last name, so I forgot that Rukia did. I'm sorry. If I have not given her a last name, and I forgot that
Oh.
Rukia had a last name. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
The thing is, we don't really use it in game. It literally gets mentioned in that 30-second introduction that then gets lost because we get distracted by something shiny. So,
Here's the thing. I do not believe that Katarina would know Rukia's last name because they've interacted mostly via online things and they might have traded first names, but I don't think they would have traded last names.
yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
perfectly legitimate to me. So,
Cool.
in that
I think
case,
before-
Larry Joe!
yep.
Do you know anyone by the name of, what was it, Nakamura?
Yeah. Yeah. I know that. That's Dr. Ian.
Oh! Dr. N is also this Nakamura person.
Yep.
Cool. Rukia is within earshot!
Rukia just is basically she's just trying to get her snow outfit perfected because it's just like this long coat with like I don't know how to describe it actually, but it's like basically this black long coat with like a few buttons and also these like black mitts stuff, and she's just fixing that up, and then she just hears the name like a Professor Nakamura or a Dr. Nakamura.
No, she
just-
didn't even say that. She says a person by the name of Nakamura.
Oh yeah, or just a person by the name of Nakamura, and she just looks back like, "Are you two? Do you need to talk to me or something?" I heard my last name.
At that, Katarina blinks and looks at Larry and looks at Rukia and goes, "Your last name is Nakamura?"
Yeah, it's a pretty common last name, I think. Am I wrong?
Sorry, just and Cat's gonna take a moment to process because I Good job, Brain.
I mean, that seems very in character.
But just my brain.
I mean, that is literally my brain. My brain is failing consistently this entire time, so you're fine.
Hi, Pepe. I
Uh,
love you. I love you.
Success
Okay, right.
is overrated, and it's also impossible to measure. So if we can't actively measure what is considered success, then we can't measure what is failure. So you're never failing.
I now have a kitten on my lap. It is very cute, even though nobody can see.
I mean, that's succeeding.
Right. So.
Yeah. That's succeeding.
As Billy Joe in the background plays Butterfly.
All right.
Sing the song, you're the piano man. No, that's Joel, isn't it? Anyways.
Yes.
Butterfly is the Digimon theme.
The original Japanese one, yeah. Really good.
God damn it, Brain. Can you stop squirreling and focus?
So
Right.
Nakamura just got revealed.
Yeah, so it's Rukia's last name is Nakamura. I would like to ask Bardic real quick
Yeah.
if they intend for this Dr. N person to be related to Rukia somehow.
I mean,
Blank.
that's a secret, isn't it?
Blink, blink. Because Rukia just said it was a common last name, and I don't think it is. But
I mean, I don't want to give a reveal away. I mean,
Okay,
it's
fair enough.
kind of there, but if in character you feel that that is justification, I'll go, alright, it's just weird coincidence. Weird. It's entirely up to you how you wish to proceed.
cool. So Katarina is basically gonna go, is someone in your family a doctor that might be involved with Megami Corp?
I mean, there's. Hold on, I forget. What did I mention last time? Well, I mean, there's mom number 2. She has a doctorate. But and I mean, she works for a facility of Mikami. I don't think she has anything to do with. And she just gestures around to everything. I don't think she's involved with anything here, though.
Fair enough. It's just I was just looking through the employee files, and I found this doctor who might be able to help me with the fact that my lungs apparently like to set themselves on fire sometimes. And that was their name.
Oh. Well, I mean, I don't think it's my mom. But you'd think she would probably. And if it is, then I would be very surprised. Because, you know, with everything going on, I don't know. I mean, like I mentioned, like, Nakamura is a pretty common last name, so I don't want to be very definitive and say that it could be mom number 2. I mean, I don't know. Sorry, I can't really. Don't really.
That's okay. It could just be a wacky coincidence. It could be a family member. If it is a family member, maybe they'll be more likely to help. You know, it is what it is. Anyways, we should probably find Billy.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
I was just gonna insert that Mia's been kind of just listening to this whole conversation while like idly strumming her ukulele, and as soon as the conversation seems to have reached a like semi-okay stopping point, she's just gonna look at Ipmon, who is also wearing, because they're both wearing sunglasses to help prevent snow blindness. And so she's just gonna kind of look
Katarina's
at
got
Impmon.
transition lenses.
Nice. She's just gonna look at Impmon and just sort of like they're gonna like share a nod, and Mia's just gonna start like a lively tune and just be like, "I wear my sunglasses in snow, and there's conspiracies abound," and just like and just like follow y'all as you start to chase after Billy.
Well, okay, that's
Also, I
wonderful.
forgot to mention Rukia is wearing like full-on Borderland-esque goggles on her eyes or on her head,
Nice.
and she just puts them on.
Nice.
I like this. Okay, so with that, you I don't know if you need to pick up the pace. I don't think you need to break into a sprint or anything, but you know, definitely move up to slightly more of a march to catch up to Billy and Leomon, who've just kind of been pushing on ahead. Before I take narrative control and make plot and events and such happen, is there any roleplay scenes people would like to do on this walk through the snow?
I would imagine that there's at least a scene between Billy and Leomon as they're moving by themselves towards the location.
Yeah. Well, so Billy, Leomon, you are walking. Leomon is very determined. Leomon is taking quite large steps through the snow, and like almost
And
like
Billy is
laser
jogging
focused to like whatever this goal is. Just
Yeah.
marching.
They're both getting some good cardio in there.
Yeah.
Like really just working on their core as they're moving forward through the cold.
Okay. Are you wanting to say anything to Leomon? Because I think Leomon, like, if Leomon was to say anything, it's very much his conversation starter would very much just be like, we are finding the enemy. We will travel through sleet and snow, through rain. We're like the postal service, but for enemies.
Yes, because nothing will stop us, because we have the fire within us, and especially on your abs, it is just flaming hot with force that cannot be stopped.
When you say that, Leomon stops dead in his tracks, strikes a pose, and tenses his abs, and they go, It's very muscular and very powerful, and he goes, "Yes! My flaming abs of justice will destroy all of our enemies! Ah!"
If not that, making a good cardio. Like, because we're doing good right here. Good, like, stretching out of the muscles. Like, getting that real big movement in there. Big strides.
When you say stretching out, Leomon stretches. He lifts his arms up above his head, stretches, does like bodybuilding poses, and then flexes and goes, "Ugh! Yeah!"
Wonderful.
And I think that would actually give everyone else time to catch up to see Leomon flexing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
assuming that we can catch up.
Yeah, and Billy is just like jogging in place, like not gonna let this stopping pause to let up on the cardio, because again, it's good muscle movement right here. Got that cold against you, build up that core real well.
Okay.
Katarina is still on Sanglutmon and will occasionally be just like burying her face in the fur to help warm
Aw.
her face back up.
Aw.
Cute. Okay. With that, Larry Joe will, well, I reckon if we keep on going, probably won't take us that long. Hey, little lady, Mia Hera.
Yeah.
You sound pretty good on that little, kind of guitar, ukulele. I think that's the correct word. If I got it wrong, I apologize. Reckon you could play something and keep us motivated, and we'll get a nice little musical number as we march?
Sure.
Ooh. One foot in front of the other.
No!
I was just gonna say that Mia just starts playing like this upbeat, jovial thing. I mean, do I need to roll for that?
Do you want to roll for it, or are you just good to go?
I mean, I think I would assume good to go. Maybe,
Yeah.
if possible.
Okay.
Her
So,
performance is pretty high.
one, I can't do it because copyright reasons, and two, I think it'd be a little bit on the nose. But I kind of really, really want the song that you play to basically be a girl worth fighting for from Mulan.
Yes,
No,
but it would
no.
absolutely be like a pseudo parodied version of it.
Amon worth fighting for.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
she would basically be inserting her own lyrics as she goes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's just a girl
What?
we're fighting for fighting for. Only in some of the lines, it's just redacted.
Oh God.
Just
Oh
just
God.
very suddenly redacted.
I feel like there's a moment of like awkward when at the point of describing Amon worth fighting for, Billy describes Leomon,
Like,
and Leomon blushes.
oh yeah, to a perfect T. Like, it's not even describing Leomon. You just say Leomon, just outright. Like, Leomon, you. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so in case it wasn't obvious, subtlety is not my strong point because
You're
as this goes on, we are gonna straight one for
Oh,
one
no!
steal the scene from Mulan, where the happy jovial song is playing, and
Oh no.
as
No,
you
no.
keep stepping forward, you find yourself mid-song, midway through a chorus,
I don't like this.
Just-
I know where this is going, and I don't like this.
in the burned down, destroyed remnants of a village. You see small igloos that have had the fronts melted off of them and just like are barely more than a few ice blocks left. You can tell they were igloos, well stuff inside. You find buildings that have been half collapsed and just demolished, and you find a small doll in the shape of Professor Agumon, just lying on the floor, half covered in snow.
Oh.
And is
Oh,
it
no.
also half like ashed?
Oh hell yeah!
Half of it is real good and nice,
Mm-hmm.
perfectly preserved by the snow that kind of half covered it.
Yup.
And Billy kind of just noticed that, goes, and then just keeps moving on forward.
Billy!
Mia's going to sit, like, kind of, like, put the ukulele, because I'm guessing it's just like a swipe the emote away thing.
Yeah.
Just be like, yeah, I don't think it's very appropriate to be playing happy songs. Something happened here.
Yeah?
Sanglupmon just goes over to the little doll of Professor Agumon and sort of sniffs at it. Just like, huh? What is this?
Yeah, we gotta defeat the thing that came here. So onward, so we can defeat them and hopefully rescue those from being harmed.
Billy, how about you take 5?
Yeah, let's
We need a
take a
moment.
few,
Okay.
and maybe try to figure out what we might be up against first,
Katarina's
instead of
gonna
recklessly heading in.
slide
Okay.
off of Sanglupmon and gently pick up the doll
Okay.
and like brush off the snow and just my brain's like, put it on your belt, and I'm like, I don't think she's wearing a utility belt, brain.
Well, she can
She's
be.
probably wearing a backpack. So she can like, she's probably wearing a backpack, so she's got like it's got a bunch of like pockets, and like in the small front pocket she like unzips it, gently puts the doll in, and zips it part of the way back up, so like the Professor Akumon's little head can stick out.
Okay. So,
While that's going on, like the wait, like, okay, Leomon, let's do some road work where they're just like doing some jabs and purposely like dodging out of the way, just kind of like working on their rep while everyone is taking their 5.
okay. So, Katarina,
Yeah.
when you go to pick up the doll, you wipe the snow off. One thing you notice is one clump of snow. As you wipe it off, it doesn't really seem to come off. And if you look down, you see what that snow is. It looks kind of like a big mittened hand, and that
I hate you.
that continues down, and it's on an arm. And if you look down, buried in the
okay.
snow, there is a being. It's kind of hard to make out exactly because it is white and looks like snow, but it's like holding onto the thing as well. And this like sphere of
If
snow.
it still has grip, it's probably alive.
Yeah, just this giant, what you assume was like a big snowball, kind of like rolls backwards to reveal like a really cute face on it with little ears. It looks kind of like a cartoon bear, but imagine like
my
if someone
God.
made a snowman out of it. So it's got like black dots at its eyes and like a little smile on. And so for reference, this is a Frigimon. Billy, can you throw an image of Frigimon in the Discord chat for people? So people know what I'm talking about. And
I found a picture and it looks absolutely adorable and I love it.
yeah.
Isn't it basically the bear snowman?
Oh, it is.
Bear
It's,
snowman.
Racer?
it's a snowman bear.
Yeah.
And it is holding onto a toy, and it kind of looks up and it goes, it came out of nowhere.
Oh.
Who's they?
Yeah, who's they?
Little red flash in his eyes. He clearly seems somewhat in pain. The human.
Here, hold on. And she pulls out a healing chip and like basically feeds the Digimon a healing chip.
Okay, yeah, you do that, and he kind of like you see as you do that, like a little bit of the the nefarious data code kind of like just spew out of him. He goes, "They said they were helping. We trusted them, then they turned on us."
Sanglupmon just goes up to the snowman and is like, who is the human? Was there a lot of them? Was there only one?
One.
How
Did they
did
tell
he-
you their name?
No. They
Hmm.
The other people who were here before were nice. They were helpful and friendly. And this one just drove them all away.
Did
Can
they
I
have
ask you?
another? Sorry.
Oop.
I was
I
gonna
was
have
gonna
Singlet
ask-
Mom speak more. Fine, sorry.
Yeah, you can do that if you want. Katarina was just gonna ask what the person looked like, the bad one.
You see Frigimon clearly kind of thinking, like, white coat, cold eyes, big. You see he doesn't know a word, and so he kind of reaches out into the snow and draws the Megami Corp symbol in the snow.
Yeah.
Did they have a Digimon with them? Like, I can't imagine that. I mean, no offense to you, Rukia or Billy or Miyahara or Kat, but I would.
I am bad at life. No.
Yeah,
She doesn't say
no,
anything.
no.
She doesn't say anything. She doesn't say anything. But my brain was just like, none taken. I am bad at life.
I was gonna say Singlet Mom was just gonna be like, no. But like, no offense to the four of you, I wouldn't imagine that one human could do all this.
Frigimon kind of nods. At this point, I think Frigimon's gonna actually like roll off of his front, so he's not just laying on the floor like talking to you. You healed him, so he's gonna like sit back. And Frigimon is friggin' adorable, by the way. Like, just imagine a snowman, but a teddy bear. It's fucking amazing. And so he's just kind of sitting there. He goes, there were two, but then more. It's terrifying.
Well, if it's this is the logo of the group that we're trying to not quite get rid of, but maybe get them to stop being mean. And that group can sometimes control Digimon, so that would make sense that if they had a lot of them, they were probably controlling them.
Mm.
That still sucks, though. Regardless of whether or not they were doing it willingly, they still destroyed your home. And that's awful.
They were looking for someone.
Did they say who they were looking for?
They were looking for a doctor.
Oh
Well,
crap!
That's
gotta
not good.
Yep.
See,
Yeah.
we're also looking for a doctor.
Yeah,
Because
Well,
we
can it-
think they might be able to help us.
she
The
she
fact
has
that
a,
Megami is looking for the fact that Megami, that's the name of this group, is looking for the doctor as well, means that we need to try and get to them before Megami does. Were you gonna say something? Sorry.
Singletmon was just going to mention, like, this doctor has a last name. I don't know what a last name is, and apparently they might be able to fix lungs.
Are you
I don't know how. I don't even know how my own lungs work.
are you her
I
friend?
mean,
We're not technically friends with her, but we are friends with someone who is friends with her. So, our friend Larry Joe.
Yep.
Larry Joe, you're friends with the doctor, right? Kind of?
Darn tootin'.
Yeah. Larry Joe is our buddy, and he's friends with the doctor.
When you say that you're friends, Frigimon stands up. He doesn't stand up in like a normal way. He kind of like just like rocks backwards and then uses forward momentum to push himself up onto his feet. Frigimon is tall. Frigimon is easily like 10 foot tall. He is a big cuddly boy. He goes, come. And Frigimon kind of plods along through the snow. Adorable snow sound effects happen as he does so.
oh,
By the way, as soon as it was revealed that the doll was attached to something, I stopped trying to put it in my backpack. I figured I should say that just in case.
Yeah. And with that, Frigimon leads the way to a large, one of the larger looking buildings that has been very clearly attacked and demolished. Like half a building is missing. It looks like it was brutally attacked. You can see as if some giant weapon swung through it, almost cutting it in half.
Come on, Leomon, bring those thick legs over here.
Yeah. After you.
Oh, I was just gonna say, as we are walking, could I potentially do either, I'm guessing, I don't, maybe like a survival check or something to try to see if I could figure out some of the more specifics of the attack?
Okay,
Would
yeah.
that be like a...
No, survival, that sounds fair. Are you wanting to just do it on this one building, or are you going to take this opportunity to kind of look around and see all the damage that's happened all
I
over the
was gonna
place?
say that Mia and Impmon are kind of lagging behind the others, not too far to where they could potentially lose sight of, but moving a bit slower to try to take in everything.
Okay, yeah. Can you roll me a survival on that, please?
Yeah, is it okay if I roll on not roll 20 since roll 20 hates this thing?
Yeah. So that's
Okay.
3d6 plus your survival.
Oh, heck yeah, it's a 19. 2 5s and a 3 plus my modifier.
Okay, so let me bring up the thingy. You'd think that these things would eventually stay in my mind, but they just haven't yet. 19 comes under difficult. 20 is incredibly difficult, but difficult is good enough, I reckon. Yeah, so you find a whole collection of footprints, and you can kind of look at the damage done. So I'll give a quick series of things. So you find human footprints to begin with, and they seem to be quite slow and slightly reserved from everything. They don't look like they were in there causing damage, but you see that they did kind of walk around and look at some things afterwards. Always trailing just behind the human footprints, large humanoid-shaped feet, but they, in front of and behind the feet are two large, sharp indents, as if these feet are heavily armored with metallic greaves, but just big, scary, spiky footprint-looking things, but definitely on a humanoid.
Okay.
Because I feel like this might be okay to, because I have a couple of ideas. It might be to roll fight to see if sword, the claws, and if that might add up to something. Because I don't think Billy would have been smart enough to know this survival, but might, because their knowledge of fighting Digimon and such, might be able to figure something out.
I think fight as a skill doesn't really work like that.
Okay. I just had to try.
No, it's fair, and I like that. So I'll have a look and find something for you to roll in a second once I finish describing all of the stuff, if that's all right.
Oh, I thought you were done. My bad.
Oh no, sorry. There's quite a lot to take in here. So that's the first thing. So human seems to be followed by big humanoid
with
scary-looking footprints. Also, on the other side of the human footprints, always seeming to be a little bit behind, you see small, and when I say small, really quite small, smaller than the humans, circular footprints, and then so there's the circle, and then there's 3 rectangles that form a small triangle, so 1 at the front and 2 at the back on each one. And these are really strange because you see them take a few steps and then they just stop dead. But if you look around a bit more, you'll see that they restart somewhere else.
Hmm.
So that's
either teleporting or flying.
Yeah. So there's that.
Or
then-
jumping.
Or
Very,
jumping.
very much, but
And you see that happens a few times. So you see that there'll be like a few steps, and then just they stop, and then they'll reappear somewhere else. The other things you find. Let me look at my notes. What did I do with them? Okay, yeah. So then a small distance away from these, you kind of see another set of fairly humanoid-looking ones. They look like regular human-sized, but clearly not people footprints. They're kind of like long and slender, and they do not move. There's literally the one set. And if you stand where they are and kind of look around, in straight lines from where you are stood, you can see where things have just been, like, set on fire and blown up. So, there's that. And then, on the other side, another small distance away, you see, it's hard to know if they're exactly footprints, because they're just giant squares. And when I say giant, I mean easily about 8 foot across. That seem like they don't move very much. And if they do, they kind of just drag. So it's just like large rectangular indents. And they seem to move very small distances. And any building or anything that they've come across looks as if it's just been like smashed. Like as if a giant weight just fell on top of it or slapped into the side of it to destroy stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, the only other thing, really, where you see the regular human footprints and their big, spiky humanoid footprint friend, any building that they seem to have gone up to, that looks as if a large weapon of sorts was used to just slice and destroy any building or anything it came across. Just obliterate it. Like, so wood is broken, stone is split in two. Like, very clean cuts. But through things that should not be able to be cut through. So that's all the information you find.
Wow, that's a lot of info. Okay. Mia is going to sort of hold on to that as we're walking, like just hold on to her observations until we get to where we're being led, at the very least.
Okay, so now Billy, you want to try and figure something out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, fight doesn't really work as a skill. I mean, okay, I don't think there's a reason why you couldn't use fight as a skill. So if you were to roll 3d6 plus the modifier, I reckon you could use that as like, this is my fight knowledge.
Yeah, because like off the top of my head, this sounds a little bit like Nightmon, like Chessmon, and I think I always mispronounce, but the weird samurai version of Greymon. Like that's a couple that come to mind just off the description.
Okay.
So that's why like I was thinking.
So roll me a fight check. This isn't a real thing, as the game says, but who needs rules? We can do our own thing.
3d6 plus stat, correct?
Yeah. So in your case, for fight, you'll be rolling 3d6 plus 9.
23.
Oh, wow. That's a big boy roll. Alright, 23, yeah. You're looking at this, you go, okay, I've done a lot of fighting. If I can't get overly specific with like, oh, it was this Digimon, you at least can look and go, this Digimon fights like this. So you can very quickly decipher and tell that one of these is just big, strong, powerful, uses a weapon. A large weapon. Looking at it, it seems to be some kind of giant axe, judging by how the blade has cut through stuff. So that's one. The big squares. That one clearly, it doesn't like to move around much, but then when it has to, it just uses the full force of its weight, and it will take as many hits as it can, and then dish them back even harder.
See, that's why I was thinking it's possibly the samurai-looking, like it's Gaiou Mon, which I always mispronounce, which is like the samurai-looking evolution of Greymon.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you probably wouldn't be able to, just from a footprint and seeing the damage, because lots of different Digimon can do lots of similar things, but you at least understand how these things would fight. So, one is very aggressive weapon user. One is kind of like a tank that, when the time is right, will strike back and strike hard. One likes to clearly keep its distance and blast. So basically that, and then the other one you can kind of decide to, like, doesn't really seem to be an active combatant. Seems to much more kind of keep out of the way, but maybe has some kind of special ability. And what it does,
See,
maybe
what makes...
is sneaky and does something.
See, and that's what made me think of Valkyrian Mon.
One thing that seems to be fairly consistent is there is definitely a mechanical aspect to almost all of these footprints, or if it's not mechanical, excessively armored and metallic. These are...
Yeah.
There doesn't really seem to be any animals or any beasts or dragons or anything. It seems to be very much like humanoid and machines. That's the vibe you get from most of this.
Yeah, because see, that's what makes me think of Tactimon, I think. That's the weird one that just has a big-ass samurai sword, a lot of cloaks and such. I think it's Tactimon.
Yeah.
Which I'm probably mispronouncing.
I think I know who you mean, but, like, you're getting a general feel of the type of assault that they did. They seem to be on multiple fronts, each with very different fighting styles, but somehow kind of merged together to create a very aggressive fighting force. Okay. So of all of this information, was there anything else, or are we going to let Frigimon guide you inside this destroyed building?
Friggy, be the guide. Friggy, be our guide.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mia
She's
was
not-
just doing this as we were being
Katarina
led,
gets
so.
back on Senglutmon when they're doing walking shenanigans.
Okay, so before I totally push on Rukia, was there anything you wanted to do during all of this?
I think while like everybody is walking, Rukia might like just go next to Larry Joe and just be like, hey, Mr. Joe or Larry or how do you this Dr. N Nakamura, what is she like exactly? Or
Well,
you like
she's real nice, kind of pretty, but in a respectful manner. She very much likes to talk about her wife. And she's very happy with that. Kind of dedicated to what her work is. Spends a lot of time researching and working away. You'll almost always find her with her head in a book or on a computer. I remember when I walked into her office one time, she had like 3 different computers going, a small tablet, and I think was on 2 separate phone calls. I don't know how she does it, but it was clearly very impressive. If I had to describe her in 2 words, I'd just say, like, good bean.
Good bean.
good being?
It don't take no shit, but she was kind.
It's like do no harm, but also take no shit.
Yeah, pretty much that.
I'm just asking because, I don't know, maybe I'm just being paranoid, but I know my own mom also works, like, at Megami, and even though I know, like, she would probably tell me if she was working on something like this, I Oh no, I guess just like, oh, there's a Dr.
NDA.
Nakamura. They're being hunted down. Yeah. Sorry,
Well-
I think I'm just being a bit.
Well, it's perfectly reasonable to wonder if it could be or if it could not be. Let's face it, about 90% of the entire human race works for Magama Corp in some way, shape, or form. And, projects like this, we got NDAs coming out of a wazoo and, the other what's it. So, if she ain't never told you, probably can't, legally speaking. Because, lawyers.
Yeah, that is true.
It's
Plus,
just like,
I
yeah, lawyers.
mean, yeah.
Larry Joe, shudders as he says the word, ugh.
Rukia also shudders, like, ugh. Yeah. I mean, I know my mom for the past. She's been, on a couple of business trips recently, and she hasn't really been able to tell me much. She did, apologize a bunch for it, though, but.
Well, could just be coincidence, like you said. Come on, I ain't even the only Larry Joe who works with Megami. There's 3 of us.
Huh.
And that's just in this district. I don't know how many is in any of the other 275.
Maybe there's, 3 for each 275 district.
I mean, if we do the math, yeah, that's a lot. That's what? 75 by 3 is what? 225 plus 3 by
A
2,
lot.
which is 600. That'd be 825 Larry Joes. Damn.
Yeah.
We should hold a
Really,
picnic.
I mean, yeah. Or
Yeah,
hell, maybe
but
even,
just keep in mind, those family reunions get weird real quick.
Yeah, probably do. Anywho. At this point, I feel that Frigimon has, for justification, Frigimon was having to, move some rubble out of the way, and while that was going on. So you hear, this large crash as Frigimon kind of, pulls a large chunk of his building off to the side and takes you in. This was clearly set up as, some kind of safe haven, so, there's beds, but they've been destroyed. There was a computer terminal that's been just cut in half. And it looks very similar to the fortress that Larry Joe had set up, but imagine that fortress had just been utterly destroyed. And Frigimon kind of goes over to where there's a rug, and that rug has been burned and charred and cut up a little bit. And Frigimon kind of dusts it off, and then doesn't just move the rug, lifts the floor up underneath the rug, and you see that underneath there is a large vault.
Holy shit.
And Frigimon knocks on it twice and goes, Doc? There are some friends here for you. There is a pause.
Sorry.
There is a pause, and then there's you hear this loud metal clank and whir as something is moving. You see the big circular vault seal turn ever so slightly, and it lifts up.
They couldn't find her. They couldn't find her because she wasn't just under the rug, she was under the floor.
Yeah. Okay. ATB. What does this person look like as their head pops up from this little hidey hole?
Hold on. I need to find their portrait that I shared you long ago. Very long ago. Oh my god, where is it?
You
I
can,
imagine-
if it's on Discord, you can search for images.
Oh, I found it. So
I
basically,
I imagine in the background just Billy and Leomon are just jogging in place.
Yeah, they're not even really. They're just doing their own little cardio thing.
they're not. But yeah, basically this, the head that pops up, it's they have a very, similar facial structure to Rukia, only, I guess a bit more I don't know how to describe it, a more smooth face, I guess.
That's a real smooth face.
More
Smooth.
androgynous.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll describe it like that. I have like short black hair, and there's just one bang that is going off to the side, and that one is like has like a bit of like tints of purple in it, similar to the color of Rukia's, and also specifically they have like the same eye shape and eye color as Rukia's as well. And like I bet if they did like come out, they're like kind of pretty tall, like I don't know, like very basic like human height, human. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm great at describing stuff, guys.
And
You're good. You're good.
what does she sound like? Well, what kind of voice does she have?
Oh God.
Because bear in mind, I've got to try and voice this.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like what would be easier for you, Bardic. She sounds like very is stereotypical, but very like confident. Like she knows what she's doing, but also but it's also not in a way of like I'm better than you, but in like just
Okay. Yeah.
basically she has a lot of self-confidence and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
is it kind of like when someone just says everything kind of like really flatly because they have all the
What?
knowledge about a thing?
No.
No,
Okay, more. Okay,
I think.
very
Yeah, I think I know what you're going for, so I will try my best. As this woman pops her head out of the safety vault, she kind of she looks up to Frigimon and goes, "Friends, what on earth could you?" And she pauses, dead as she's talking, and she looks out and she goes, and like just kind of sinks back into the hole. Closes the lid. He goes, and you hear a very muffled, like, panic shout, like a ah!
Because she saw Rukia or because she saw Larry Joe?
No, for like, it's from seeing Rukia, but it's like a ah! Okay. Deep breath. It pops back open, and she immediately like climbs out and goes, Rukia, what the hell are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
I am doing my job, which this is very very okay, I need to find a way to get you out of here, like yesterday, like right now.
Katarina is just gonna like look between them and be like, "Hello, are you in fact mom too?"
Yes, she is.
She
Mom.
kind of
Cool.
she kind of gives Rukia a little side eye, like, really, number two.
I
Is that what you do?
technically our mom number 2, but in terms of like age.
and two is
Let's
more
not
than
go
one.
there. Dr. Nakamura, it is, right?
You, the doctor is not really an official title. I'm much more of a professor, but yes, technically.
Professor Nakamura, that works too.
Thank you.
Whichever you
Professor
prefer.
Doctor.
Okay, Singloop Mom.
No, that was actually me. Mia.
Oh, sorry.
You know what? Now that you said that, saying what mine is totally gonna be like, Professor Doctor Mom.
Okay, Singloop.
That's what she is.
Okay. So I was hoping you could help me figure out how to fix my digital body because it's got a couple of wonky things going on. Like if I do any amount of cardio exercise, it feels like my lungs are on fire.
I can probably do that. Come on.
Like I know how to get into my own files and stuff, but I don't know anything about how bodies work and why mine doesn't.
He kind of raises an eyebrow at that and goes, you can get into the files?
Yeah, and she like does a tap tap, pulls up her visor, pulls up a thing with her holograms, and she pulls up like, yeah, this is how I found you, and she pulls up like Dr. Nakamura, the file on Nakamura, and like does a little turn it around so it's facing out, and then pushes it a little bit so that she can see it.
Mom too looks at this, gives like a deadpan look over to Rukia, and goes,
Professor Mom.
Your friend can hack into highly classified files. I like
Listen,
her.
Oh, okay. I thought I was having to explain myself. I'm glad you like her.
Alright.
Also, to put you a little bit more on our side, because what we're doing is technically against I mean, not that I need to, because also, you seem really nice. But also, I thought you might want to see this, and she pulls up the file on why Rukia is a good subject for this particular beta test, and just kind of pushes it at her and doesn't look at it.
Rukia was going to do that later, but thanks.
Yeah. You
Just so you know.
You know what? Anime moment. Professor Dr. Mom, you see like a literal fire in her eyes, as full on, literal fire in eyes. A gust of wind comes out of nowhere. Her lab coat kind of flares up behind her. She goes, "Follow me," and she just steps back into the pod, and it seems to be a ladder. And she just kind of like grips it and slides down the side.
So Katarina's gonna like turn around on Sanglutmon and go, Billy, Leomon, we're gonna go in the hole. If you don't die. I don't know if Leomon can fit, so don't die.
Okay, Leomon, we're gonna go with a good lift. Let's see if open up this pod.
Really? I don't know what they're doing, and I don't really care.
It's got a safe door. They're gonna try to open it together. I would guess it would take.
The door's open.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's already open.
Oh, then they're just gonna go through.
Yeah.
The hole? Can they fit?
It's a hole in the floor. It's surprisingly wide. You could easily fit a large creature down this hole.
It has to be big enough for Frigimon.
Yeah, so you can fit a large creature. If you're bigger than large, not so much. I'm not entirely certain how Sanglutmon comes down this, because it's a ladder. So however you want a wolf to climb down a ladder.
Or I can get off Sanglutmon and Sanglutmon can devolve.
Yeah.
And this also would work.
Is he able to do that without, like, not being able to get to his other form?
Yeah, you can freely switch between the forms you've unlocked.
Yeah.
You can freely switch between Dracmon and Sanglutmon like it's nothing.
Okay, actually I got an idea. Sanglutmon at first just looks down the hole, like, very sadly, like, how am I gonna get down there? I'm gonna be left behind. Oh wait! And then after like Cat gets off his back,
Katarina slides off and like goes down the hole once she tells Billy and Leomon what they're doing.
Okay, so after that, he just there's another glow of light, and he slowly returns back into Drakemon, who immediately goes up on Rukia's shoulders and is like, "Hey, was that your mom?" And Rukia's like, "Yeah. She's very cool. Yeah, she is." And then Rukia and Drakemon go down into the safe zone together.
So, I will give a quick little description of what this place is, and then we'll take a quick 5-minute break. So we're just keeping on top of everything. Alright, so you get down the ladder, and you get to the bottom of the ladder. There's another large sealed door. Professor Mom opens that, and it opens up into a pristine, like, computer lab. Like,
oh, yes.
So there's multiple monitors, probably more than 10. You can see that there's, like, interactive graphs, and it's just science! Computer science! And bioengineering science! As you can see, there's, like, 3D models of Digimon and, DNA spiraling, and clearly she is working and designing things to help and alter digital DNA. And it's like serious, hardcore work going on in here.
Billy has like 2 wooden swords they pull out and just start twirling around, just in case needing.
Okay.
Waiting purposely on someone telling them, but it's very much ready, just in case it's needed.
Does anybody else have anything that is their immediate response to being in real high-tech, fancy computer science lab?
Rukia is looking at everything that her mom is working on. She is just running around looking at everything. Like, who was that? Who was that? Who was that? Who was that? Just like the curiosity porn portal. Who was that?
Mia and Impmon are like looking around in awe while simultaneously having a conversation where Mia is trying to describe what exactly a mother is, and Impmon keeps saying, "You mean like a Lekmon, right?" No, it's a little different.
Nice.
So they're looking around in awe while simultaneously trying to have kind of a birds and bees conversation, sort of.
So the Birdramon and the Beemon.
Well, it's not as though Digimon had gender.
No.
Well, no. Impmon would be explicitly saying Alekmon because that's, typically the carer for eggs.
All right.
So Lekmon. Kind of,
Yeah.
but not really.
Kind of, but not. Yeah, basically.
All right. Perfect.
Kind of, but not actually at all.
Um,
And here's why.
So you know what, we'll just leave it on that scene there while everyone's like, "Wow, science lab."
Oh, random side note because
Yep.
I'm gonna go do this once the break starts. Katarina, when she gets down, rummages around real quick in her backpack, and has Kitty help her with wrapping her wrists because apparently my left wrist has decided to be a bitch.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Fun times.
Gotta love it.
Except I've got to get my mom to help instead of a cat Digimon.
Look, I mean,
It is really hard to wrap a wrist one-handed. It is not fun. Anyway.
Oh yeah, trust me, I know.
I'm sure Loki would help if he could.
He's helping by being a purring loaf, and that makes the pain go away a little bit.
Alright, so I'm going to throw us over to a break screen. We'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes. And stay tuned.
BRB.
And we are back, everybody, ignoring small technical issues that have been rapidly resolved. Where we left off is Science Lab. Big fancy science lab. It's quite nice. So, Rukia, you were running around going, what does this do? What does that do? What does the other do? Katarina, what were you doing? Just looking, going...
Katarina is mostly like looking around and following Professor Dr. Mom. Because she basically is currently expecting them to work together on fixing her. Though she doesn't. So that's what she thinks is going on. Is she's gonna lead me to like a thing, and we're gonna sit down and we're gonna figure out what's wrong with me, and fix it.
This is how things should happen. Yes, correct.
And Billy and Leomon are in the back just with that silent, "You hurt them, I'll hurt you too," just so you know.
Okay. And Miyahara, what is Miyahara doing?
Still trying to explain what a mother is to Impmon.
Right, perfect. Larry
It's not
Joe.
going very well.
Larry Joe is going to be stood a little bit further back, just hanging out with Frigimon, just like, yeah. These kids know what's going on. I'm really just here. Frigimon's like, yeah, me too.
Rukia knows what's going on as she's just looking at one of the 3D models and just sort of like puts her hand through it like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
So-
a hologram. She's like phasing through the hologram.
Yeah.
Is
Nice.
Frigimon at all talking to Larry Joe about their Digimon? On
Yeah.
how to better care them?
Yeah. Frigimon is just... Frigimon and Larry Joe are having a really in-depth conversation they seem to be bonding, and Upamon just kind of pops up, and Larry Joe pops Upamon on his head, and just like doesn't even face him, doesn't even bat an eyelid, just little ball boy on his head, just chatting away to Frigimon, and Frigimon is like telling Larry, like, oh, so a really good thing you can do if you can really help the growth of your Digimon if you like feed them like this, and you can add these things in and do. It's like a really nice. They're just having like good dad talks, and I feel that vibe. All right, so Professor Dr. Mom, she sits down in a wheelie chair, and she is like kicking herself around the lab with like precision. Nice. And what she does is she sits down at one monitor, taps out some stuff, kicks herself like across the entire lab, looks at Cat and goes, "Cat, go and stand in that, please," and points to like a small like booth. Then she'll kick herself back over to another monitor, and without looking, she just says, "Rukia, stop putting your hand through that. That's very important information."
It's cool.
It is, but don't put your hand through it, because no, mommy needs that.
Fine. And Rukia just steps back and just looks at it from a distance.
And so, Catherine, do you just step into like the generic sci-fi pod of science?
Before she does, she's like, can I take Kitty with me? Or does he have to stay out?
Kitty should be fine. You have... There's a quite large discrepancy between Digimon DDNA and human DDNA. It needs to separate. This isn't going to be some Jeff Goldblum situation. You'll be fine.
Cool. So she just goes in, and Kitty is still just like kind of chilling on her shoulders. As he...
The holographic model that Rukia was toying around with, that immediately switches and becomes a holographic model of Cat. And
neat.
Professor Dr. Mom bashes in a few extra codes, and basically any area of Katarina's digital code which carries any kind of imperfection, i.e. medical condition or any such thing, lights up red. Cat, how much of your hologram lights up red?
Okay, lungs, heart, most of the joints, basically the entire nervous system.
So,
is there anything else that is explicitly wrong with me?
I'm like, real. Are you describing me in real life? Say what?
Are we just focusing on physical, or are we including mental in that too?
I think only physical.
I think physical.
This is just physical.
You can't program out like. I mean, you could theoretically program out trauma, but that's very delicate neuroscience.
I mean,
well, yeah, but at least scan for it and it show up.
I mean, this is definitely a physical scan. If we're going on a mental scan, like, because yes, I could, like, theoretically, in this world, you could program out depression, anxiety, etc. But you'd also be removing free will and individuality. You'd just be going, you're a blank slate now. There you go. Which is morally wrong.
Yeah.
Great.
So
I'm not entirely sure what causes the migraines. Like, I'm not sure what part of your body. I mean, it's probably just excessive red in the head area. Now that I'm thinking about it.
So all of this comes up.
Also, basically, the entire nervous system lights up because of chronic pain.
And with that, Professor Dr. Mom kind of turns around, looks at it, and goes, huh. Turns back round, goes to the computer, types out a few things, and goes, just deadpan silence, jaw slightly open. She looks like, who digitized you? This isn't my program, this isn't my writing. It's lazy.
I don't know. We're part of the beta test. Did you know that there's a beta test happening?
Yeah, that convention.
Today?
Yeah, like I was. Yeah,
Yes.
I was talking about it with you last
Yeah,
night.
there's like 100 people. Oh no. She might not have known that the convention you were going to was also the beta test.
I
To
I
be
meant
fair.
the convention as well. Yeah, honestly, time flow in well, one, it's hard to keep track of time in the lab. And two, time flow in the digital world is already a mess. As Rukia, we spoke last night, right? We had a lovely dinner. I've technically been in here a month in time in here since that happened.
Oh,
Holy fuck! Cool.
Well,
Wow.
then-
So we've been in
ex-
here for like 5 minutes. Maybe
Time-
something like that.
Time flow is weird. So honestly, my bad. Thankfully, I have pre-programmed things to tell me when I need to leave, so I don't ever miss the meals and stuff like that. So,
mm,
but
Oh, so it's got pre-programmed. By the way, it is time for you to clock out shenanigans.
yeah, there's clock out stuff. But I've been working solidly for like a month, but only a day. Like
Yeah.
Time is-
So it's
time is
There's,
warped
like-
and space is bendable. So
wait, was it 100 or was it 1,000 beta testers? I forget.
it was 100.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
100.
So there's like, well, there's not 100 anymore because some of
Oh,
them
yeah.
have died, but yeah,
Yeah.
there's somewhere between. Actually, I can probably calculate just how many are still alive. And she like pulls up the thing and goes through the files. Well, from the last time I synced up to the system, this is how many people were alive. And you know, the last time I synced up, I had sent out a player-wide message to let them know that if they die, they die. So they're probably no one has died since then, is my guess. And so she's like, yeah, there's like this many beta testers, and they're congregated in these areas. And she's got like her little thing up inside the pod, so it may not be visible.
yeah,
You
Professor-
die in a game, you die in real life.
Professor Dr. Mom, she's like just wheeling between different monitors, and she kind of stops halfway through, looks back to Ruki and goes, "Really like your friends."
I'm glad you do.
Are you gonna take computer lessons with Kat? Is she gonna teach you how to do that? Because
Uh,
that
I could ask. Kat, could you teach me all of that hacking stuff?
I mean,
Okay,
it'll
okay.
take a while. I've been doing this for like 7 years now, but I can definitely start you on like some simple concepts and stuff that are universal, and then if you have a particular like system that you like using, and then I can start helping you find resources to learn whatever languages you need.
Sure. And then Rukia gives a thumbs up to Kat, and then looks over at Professor Dr. Mom and is like, yeah, she'll do that.
good. I'm gonna give you so much homework for that.
I will.
And she gets like a little wry smile as she goes back over to the hologram and taps out a few more things and smashes, like, very anime, lifts her hand up, camera zooms out, and she goes, "Go!" Finger slams down in on the enter button, and you see like a physical representation of the code go over the hologram inside the pod. A bunch of zeros and ones fly over Kat's body, and bit by bit, every red flare up gets color corrected back to green to fit in, and like so every physical issue gets tweaked. And I'm not gonna like just hand wave and be like, and ta-da, you are cured of all of your illnesses, because that can get into like a weird ableism conversation. But it's very it's very much like, no, in the digital world, your body performs at peak. You do not have to have
Basically.
the difficulties and the struggles of
It is less difficult to not die.
exactly.
Good
So,
times.
It's not like a snap magic cure-all. Go you're now fully able-bodied because disabled is bad. Like, no, it's very much like you perform at peak with the minimal amount of discomfort. It's basically making you as good as you possibly can be. And any additional things. So like, okay, if you easily dislocate stuff, like, well, it just automatically corrects that because it's digital. It's like, yeah, you will still probably dislocate things, but it's digital, so then it'll just pop back into place without the pain. So it's quick fixes and less pain, because less pain is a good thing. As in, no pain, because that's an even better thing.
Yeah.
And with that, she leans back and goes, okay. Whoever ran the digitizing code, they made me work for, I don't know, months of real world time, which is like years in here, like over a decade of in digital world time on this nonsense, and we just didn't use it. I get it was more complicated and more time consuming and took up a few more resources, but wow. Alright.
So
And
Katarina's
corporate
gonna be like,
area.
"Can I come out now?"
Oh yeah, you're good.
Cool. And she's gonna come out and be like, "Holy shit!" And she's just like, she's just gonna like do like a little wave and be like, "Holy shit! Nothing hurts."
Good. That-
Rukia and Drake Punches clap.
Wow.
That is exactly how it should be. Like, why would we have this digital world and make people just be in pain? I mean, my original process of this was create a place where people with debilitating conditions could at least have a level of escapism. And the overall final plan was to push to create some kind of singularity, so people, if they so wish to, could create an entirely digital existence. But apparently Megami thought that was an issue with that. You know, well, if they do that, then why would they keep buying stuff from? I don't know.
I know.
Oh,
Mommy needs a new job. Mommy needs a new job.
I mean, other mom would probably appreciate that. You would be home a lot more. I mean, all of this stuff, I assume, is why you've been gone a lot.
Yeah.
Not like saying like, oh, how dare you, but like, you've been gone from home a lot, so
Yeah. I mean,
family would appreciate you being there.
well, considering not too long ago, I'm fairly certain the company was trying to kill me or do something to me. I'm not 100%. So suffice to say, as soon as we get out of here, I quit. And
Hey, you can join the club. And she like points over at Larry Joe. He quit too.
he just gives a thumbs up. He goes,
yeah.
Professor Dr. Mom's like, good call.
Mon is just kind of like, hey, yeah, it does actually hurt them if they get hurt here. Watch. And he steps on Mia's foot. And Mia just starts like, ow! Why'd you do that? It's for science.
Oh yeah. Side note, getting stabbed through the hand hurts like a bitch.
Professor Dr. Mom just looks directly at you when you say it and goes, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that.
In my defense, I was stopping someone else from getting stabbed, so it's probably it was fine.
He said he was going to terminate you
Yeah, but then
Let it
he
go.
didn't.
because of the sword in the hand.
Not necessarily. You
little
prove that. They're just shouting at each other across the lab.
And Mia's just kind of like trying to like intervene, but like not sure how to do it. And she's like, maybe we should be a little less stabby first and ask questions later. But she has a good point. And just kind of going back and forth while all this arguing is happening.
You die in the game, you die in real life. I am not letting any of my friends die.
You
Okay, but
didn't
we
know
didn't
that
know
at the
that
time.
when
There
we
was
did
no
that.
real evidence to back it up at that time.
He
You
said
just
he was going to terminate you.
We are programs! At the time, I was operating under the assumption that we were controlling avatars and thus terminating would do no harm to our physical bodies. It would only deactivate the avatar and send us back to the login screen. You jump to conclusions, sir!
I had evidence to suggest this earlier, which I said when I had it.
I mean,
Oh, if you die in a game, you die in real life. You get hurt in a game, you get hurt in real life. Earlier.
I don't think we had that in actuality
We don't have.
before.
We did not have that evidence until I hacked into the mainframe and figured it out, and then told you.
I had evidence, you just didn't believe me.
What evidence?
You didn't have evidence.
What's going on?
You had.
Yes.
Shit,
When
there's
I
a word now. Hold
removed
on.
the helmet and I told you
Tin hat
about my
theories.
experience.
Oh, okay. Just a quick check-in. Everyone all right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
All right,
I
cool.
think this is all
Sorry.
just happening in character.
Yes.
Sorry, I know I'm
Just as if
chuckling because
I'm really
this is
smiling.
yeah. All right, cool.
Anyway,
Just double checking for safety. All right. During all
You're
of
not-
this,
nobody's dead. It's fine. It's definitely fine.
I would like to say ever
As
since
Professor
Mia said
Dr.
she-
Mom picked up on the fact that Billy is the one who threw the thing through her hand.
oh yeah. She kind of shoots Billy a side eye look, and it's a real intense look. You know, the JoJo you can see the JoJo's kanji for menacing kind of emanate around her.
She stood in front of it. It was not meant for her. She got in the way. When it
Yeah,
was
you were just gonna
purposely
kill
not
someone
aimed for
else.
her.
And then there's a little pause, and she goes, "You protecting your friends?"
Yeah.
He turns her gaze to Rukia. I like him too. He's a good boy.
Any chance you can help me figure out how to get a third sword with my mouth?
What?
She kind of looks at you and goes like, "Isn't that from an anime?"
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyway.
maybe.
So Katarina's gonna go up and be like, by the way, I've been working on something, and she like pulls up her holograms again and just started like, so I'm basically, what I'm trying to do is figure out how to create a shortcut to room 001, the emergency like logout center, so that I can basically give it to everybody so they can get out, because from what I can tell, there's no way for the beta testers to actually leave.
I thought that if we got to one of those logout areas. No?
I found a logout area, but it's in the admin section behind a lot of Megami walls.
Oh.
So I've been
Of course,
basically
that's
trying to program in a shortcut to teleport people there so they can get out.
Professor Doctor N, she kind of reaches her hand out, strokes her chin, and goes, "This is really good. We need to get you to a terminal so we can activate that. There should be another settlement not too far from here. Hopefully it hasn't also been attacked. But we should probably get a move on.
How recently was the attack? Because that might have been my fault.
Happened. Kind of pauses and thinks, like, sometime around noon, a couple of hours ago, maybe.
Yeah, so, not too long before then, noon, that makes sense. That message that I said that I sent out to everyone, telling all the beta testers, telling them that if their, digital self dies, that there's a high likelihood that there will be serious bad stuff happening to their like real self, and she puts air quotes around real self. I sent that out at noon from a terminal in a settlement.
So basically, the person looking for my mom probably thought that she was the one who leaked that out. That's why they're looking for her.
It is definitely a possibility. I was probably doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing. To be fair.
I'm just really hoping that they didn't decide to attack all of the settlements, because I can do things that they don't like when I have access to a terminal.
Hey, we made sure that the area was empty, that all the Digimon went to another location. So.
Well, yeah, at least in the grasslands. Can I just say, while this conversation has been going on, ever since Mia said something about tin hat theory, Impmon kind of like slunk away and has started to kind of rifle through things,
Mhm.
looking
Oh,
for
no.
aluminum foil.
There's probably not tinfoil, but there's definitely like some.
It
Like,
does not necessarily like a bendy metal, like even one of those heat blankets or something. You know what I'm
Well,
talking about?
what I was gonna
Just
say
something
is
that
there is
looks metal and
definitely
bendy.
like some headgear attached to a machine. The machine is turned off. But there's definitely like some headgear and a bunch of wires that Imon could easily just like yoink out and put on.
I was actually going to say that Impmon will yoink it out and walk over to Billy and just hold it up. Here, she said you like tin hats.
Oh, thank you! And Billy just puts it in their backpack. Thank you so much!
I was hoping Billy put it on and then put his baseball cap on top of it.
No, because I've learned that lesson in real life. It does not work.
No. Alright, so, with all of that, Professor Doc's mom, she'll stand up. You'll see that as she's standing up, tap at a bunch of stuff, and you'll see like a physical stream of data transfer from one of the computer monitors. That computer monitor goes black, and it goes into a small device. What kind of digivice does Professor Dr. Mom have?
Hmm.
Ooh,
I feel
I feel
like it should be something like sciency, like maybe like like some kind of reader. I'm trying to think of
may
a
I?
specific device.
I was also gonna
'Cause-
suggest like something similar to Rukia's.
Because the one that comes to mind is what they did for Digimon Frontier, where like roughly it pops up as very much like almost holographic from the Digivice, and like a little light for what they select and go through for everything.
Yeah.
Because Digimon Frontier, the thing is they tamers turn into the Digimon, so the
Yeah.
Digivice is them selecting things and such. So I'd imagine it, because that's very like science-y, like allows them to do different modules and stuff all from the Digivice.
Okay, yeah, cool. I like that. So that happens, and with that, she kind of like dusts her hands off and goes, "Okay, we should probably get going. Also, before we do that, you can't.
Yeah?
You got hurt." She turns, like, grabs Rukia by the shoulder and goes, "Has anybody hurt you? I will destroy them."
I mean, and then Drakemon just pops up like, there was this Eismon that went like, boom, and then hurt Rukia through her back, and that was how I became a wolf, and then I destroyed it.
I
What's
like this woman.
And that was how he became a wolf, and then I destroyed it.
Yeah.
I
love
like this
them.
mom.
Yeah.
This is a very
Yeah.
good mom.
He also has tears in his eyes when he's explaining, just like,
Yeah. There is big anime energy, and you're fairly certain you can see like lightning bolts form around her. She goes, "Alright. I am going to destroy the CEO of Megami Corp. Got it. Cool. Alright, let's go." And she just marches out of the room and starts climbing up the ladder, and she goes, "Frigimon, come on, let's go, partner." And as she climbs up,
Your partner?
yeah, Frigimon's her partner.
Oh.
I love this.
And she climbs on up out of the lab.
Billy follows.
Kat also follows, reveling in the fact that she
Mia
can
will
do so
follow.
without being in pain.
Rukia was also just following close behind her mom, while Drakemon is just like, being like, I like her, she's nice.
Okay.
We've got 20 minutes, is that right?
Yep, thereabouts. Sadly, I think I got a little bit too into describing things, so we won't have time to do the main thing I want to do, but that's fine. We can just push that back a session, and then I will have to pick up the pace elsewhere. All right. So with that, you get up. Still, obviously, horrible, desolate encampment. Professor Dr. Mom kind of looks around and goes, "No, it was this. I'm really going to kick the CEO of Megami Corp's ass now."
Don't worry, we're all going to kick some ass.
She pulls out her Digivice and basically brings up like a small map and kind of moves to get a compass and goes, That way. Alright. Let's go, team.
Uh-huh.
And
Also,
Onward!
Katarina's kind of like, I know that I can walk just fine now, but can I still ride Senglutmon?
Drakemon gives a thumbs up and then jumps off of Rukia's shoulder and immediately shifts into Sanglitmon. Is just like, yeah,
Yay! Katarina clambers up and just like does one of those things where you like. I'm imagining. Wait, Senglutmon is like big pupper, right?
Big
He
Papa.
did.
Yeah. So she basically like is hugging around around its neck, like, yes, happy
aw.
pupper.
And Sanglitmon just does laps around the group, and before he just goes, he runs a bit forward from the rest of the group, but then he just looks behind and he's like, Professor Dr. Mom, is this the right way?
She's holding up her Digivice and it's got a map, and she doesn't even look away from us. Yeah, we're still on track. And you
Okay.
walk out, and you basically walk out into like a large tundra. The snowstorm, it's not really a storm, I said it before, but it's like perpetual snow. As you start to walk out into it, you get a decent distance, you walk like 20 minutes, half an hour. And you do start to notice that jutting up out of the floor, there's lots of like very defined like icicle ridges and things like that. So it's
Pretty.
it is very pretty, but it is also quite clearly not a particularly friendly environment.
Okay.
As you walk, is there any roleplay scenes or anything anybody would like to do along?
I was gonna say we could hand wave the RP about it, but I will say that like as we're leaving the area and kind of walking along, Mia would just give like the very exact descriptions of the various footprints, the various blasts and all of that, just so we at least can be a little bit more aware as a group
Yeah,
of
and
what attacked the area.
yeah, and Billy will list the ones that possibly think they might be.
Okay, so I'm on this new map we've got. Basically, the way Professor Doctor Mom is going to be pointing out to you is you kind of want to get to about where here is on the map. How do you proceed there? Like, if we just want to draw a line, and do you have a particular order in which you do so?
Could you put
Wait,
ping
to where?
So about
again?
here.
Okay, so about hold on, I'm gonna put like an X there. Right here.
I just because I think it might be really anime is like again like Billy running along a lot of these big like giant and icicles as they're going along to it, and you see kind of like both Leomon and Abertmon, like all three of them are kind of like just running along, each one making the jumps, all kind of like lined up, synchronized as they go essentially wall to like Prince of Persia to get over to
Yeah.
there.
So, I don't know if a map is particularly good at getting this idea across, but basically, this area I've pinged here is kind of like down a slight slope. So, let me just grab a little tool here. So, like, this area here is like sloping down into this
Okay.
part. All of this area is kind of like on a raised thing, so you could like run up along these jutting out like icicle rock things and like jump off of them and stuff like that into this slightly lowered down ravine. It's not a huge slope, it's maybe like 20 feet or so it won't hurt you because you're also jumping into very soft snow. That's basically it.
Yeah, it's just so that both like Leomon, Billy, and Abertmon have this like perfect moment where they're all lined up with like possibly a wind going against the hat, and you see kind of like the little jackets that both Billy and Leomon have that Yeah, are just swishing in the wing in tune.
Alright. And, what? So, Billy, Leomon, and Aberantmon, you'd be the first ones there.
Groovy.
Who...
I can't move Kitty, but I tried to put Cat like on top of Sanglutmon, and it kind of worked.
Oh,
I could have sworn that you should have had control of these one moment. That's probably an error on my part. Controlled by... is anyone else having issue with tokens?
I intentionally deleted the puppy because I don't plan on using the puppy.
I cannot
Yeah.
move Impmon, but I can move the Wizardmon token.
Yep, okay,
I'm
not
going
a
to
problem.
Digimon.
Yeah, I just kind of put all of them out there because I didn't know who was using what.
It's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think... Okay, theoretically, you should be able to move stuff now.
Yeah, I'm good. Got the tokens I need.
Okay, so... and Leomon, of course, who also jumped down this area. So, I will do a thing when the rest of you know how you're going to approach. And this thing will happen basically as soon as Billy, Aberantmon, and Leomon have jumped down into this ravine. So I just kind of want to know, like, where you think your characters would be in relationship to that when it happens.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where like my characters would be because they're attached to Sanglutmon at the moment.
I would feel like Sanglutmon is like basically acting as like basically is just being is just tagging along with Cat and Kitty. And it's just sort of rushing through up like around the slopes and such, and then just finds his way to the ravine.
Okay.
Meanwhile Rukia is just staying
This
behind.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah, basically.
that way.
He's just trudging through.
Cool.
So,
It's like, you know what I'm doing, totally.
yeah, so
I
if you
feel
just
like-
want to put where you think you would be
Okay.
about the time Billy and Leomon and Aberantmon leap down into this
I
ravine.
have them about right about there. Because they would have probably tried to rush to keep them from wandering too far ahead.
Okay.
But if Billy rushes ahead,
God.
they deal with the damage
Uh.
and you don't have to.
It's also a survival thing. Because this is a snowy area and getting too far ahead, like Mia has said, is potentially dangerous and problematic and can cause people to get lost. So she's trying to prevent that from happening.
Don't split the party.
Yeah.
But yeah, I imagine Sanglutmon is ahead. Meanwhile, Rukia is just wherever her mother is, because she is also just asking her mom questions of how long have you been working on this? Like what have you really been doing? What have you just been doing here? Has it really been a month for you since we last spoke? Because oh my god. Basically, she's just asking a bunch of like questions. Also, just helping get through.
Let me just get open for Professor Dr. Mom. That. And I can pop that. Then that. That. One. Big dumb. Come on. Work faster, computer.
Sorry, I'm making you do work.
It's
So-
cool, it's cool, it's fine. Let me just.
Oh, so what pops out of the X?
Well,
Wait.
I think people are still getting situated.
Yeah. Larry Joe is definitely keeping back because he just has a tiny, adorable little ball boy. So, as you land in this ravined area, as you land, you kick up a bunch of snow, and it's really quite beautiful. The snowflakes kind of drift and float through the sky for a moment, and there's this wonderful silence. It's like hauntingly serene, and as a moment of brevity, and this quite serious, like, well, one, landscape, because it's very hostile looking, but also just like the general atmosphere. You know, you're all about to do some real serious stuff. There's this one moment of quite solemn brevity as the snow begins to land. In the middling distance, a silhouetted, well, not silhouetted, just you can't really make them out fully. See a human-looking figure wearing a long white trench coat that is fastened around the front. They have a scarf covering the bottom half of their face, and on the top half they've got a big pair of goggles, and you can see like very well combed blonde hair like coming down and forming a slight fringe that is kind of blowing in the breeze. And directly behind them, you see a large black, heavily armored thing just standing by. And then at the side of him, that's the wrong one, that one, you see a very small looking creature. It seems to have like long, thin arms, but then large, thick, metallic hands. It's like domed, and you can see like flashing lights and various like this is computery stuff going on. And as the snow settles, slow, sarcastic clap from the man in the white coat as he looks at Billy and Leomon. Goes, well, here's my little viruses have revealed themselves.
Sorry, I'm getting like vibes from fuck, what was his name?
I mean, for reference, the image I have chosen there is literally Rufus Shinra from Final Fantasy VII.
Shinra! That's what it was! Shinra! I was getting serious Shinra vibes!
Like, if I just zoom in, that is just Rufus Shinra. That's the image I've got.
Right. Coal res, and then I looked at the image and I was like, oh, Shinra.
And Billy goes, oh, that's the clap of the asshole, isn't it? Like just two cheeks together?
Leomon looks at you confused and goes, and then like pokes his face and goes, how do cheeks clap?
Well, we just heard it right there. You saw how they were clapping?
I heard something about butts and clapping. What's going on?
And
it's the anime villain doing the evil clap, you know, the asshole clap, which makes them seem like they're above it all, they're really smart.
I hear stuff about Buzz. You better not be talking about anything inappropriate. My mom is literally right here.
No, like right there, the person that just clapped, you know? That's the asshole
Some of them,
clap.
I don't think we can all see them.
Yeah, I would imagine that from our distance and with like various spires and that sort of thing, we don't have line of sight. Billy does, but we can hear something, just not all of it.
yeah, he stands there and like he lowers his scarf and removes his glasses, like his big like safety glasses, and kind of flips his hair. It's very pretty hair. It's very Bishonen. It's very anime
Yes,
pretty
he's
boy.
an evil pretty boy, we get it.
Yeah, and he just kind of looks and goes, are you done? Are you finished wasting time? Look, you can continue doing your wannabe anime protagonist shtick. Is the doctor with you?
Well, that depends.
Doctor Who! Cat just like hears that, sits up, and shouts as loud as she can, Doctor Who! And then sinks back into Sanglutmon and tries to basically hide herself with her fluffy coat and his fur.
It's bigger on the brain.
Yeah, like I feel like Billy just like is not paying attention to this. He's like, "Well done! Like you beat me to the punchline. You did a good job."
He
Okay.
pinches the bridge of his nose, clearly very frustrated at all of this, and goes, Axnightmon, Datesmon, just eliminate them.
Oh, so you
I'm
don't
done.
want to draw heat between each other to have kind of like a good back and forth,
Yeah.
like anime
He-
villain versus protagonist kind of vibe.
He turns around, and there is the very large Megami Corp insignia on his back, and Frigimon panics, like, visibly. Leomon looks and goes, "The enemy!" Ah! Leomon starts sprinting, like, full on, booking
no.
it, sprinting
Oh God, here's the
across.
scene.
And
Oh no!
No, not the him, bro.
And we'll
Do
see
it.
what happens next week because we have 3 minutes.
yeah, okay, we do. And I
To
just
be
want
continued. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
let me kill Leomon.
Not
Let
yet.
Bardic, let's
Next
let
week.
Bardic finish
Let
Bardic's
Bardic-
scene,
Let Bardic
I mean-
and
do
then we
this.
can.
Bardic have this.
As Leomon sprints across, he stops dead in his tracks, and there'll be a very anime cut. You know, it cuts to every single person reacting, but we, the audience, do not get to see what has happened as Leomon stops dead in his tracks, and then a few small droplets of blood hit the snow, spreading.
Blood.
It's anime. Don't question it.
Okay.
So these red droplets hit the snow and spread across its pure, untainted whiteness. End scene and end of session. Thank you very much, everybody. I have been the Bardic Knock. You can find me on the internet, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube. That's it. Sorry, we had to wrap up about a half hour earlier than usual. I've got things I need to make sure I go and do today. But we'll be back next week, and we're actually building pretty close to the climax here. I think we've got maybe
Yeah.
like 2 sessions left.
Something like that.
We could push to 3, but that'd take us right to the 23rd, and I don't know if people want to if people are able to do that.
I
But-
am.
I have no life.
Yeah.
I
so,
don't have life.
So we'll see. There's about 2 to 3 sessions left. Yes. Big stuff happening. I already said who I am. I already said where you can find me on the internet. That's basically me. Players, can we get some very succinct outros, please? ATB, who are you?
Hi, I'm a tired bye. I'm not going to mess up my outro like I did with my intro. I played Rukia Nakamura and Sanglupmon / Drakemon, who made a reappearance for a short while before becoming a wolf again. And also, I am so happy with just like the introduction of Rukia's mom, Professor Dr. Mama Nakamura. You can find me possibly back here on second Sundays. So not this Sunday, right?
Not this Sunday.
Yep.
Not this Sunday, possibly next Sunday. Or Rebels of Spyra if it's still happening December. That's where I play Lilith, the edgy Dark Knight who is full of despair in her soul. Aside from stuffed toys like Tauntaun. And then Curse of Strahd is on hiatus, so you're not gonna see Zatari for a month. But Kay is running things on different dates that I can't remember. So one game's happening tomorrow, and I might be there if Kay decides that hey, I can be there. No pressure on Kay though. Am I forgetting anything?
I don't think so. I think that is everything.
Okay. My brain
That-
is frazzled.
That's fine, and that brings us straight on to Kay. Kay, who are you?
Hi, I'm Kay,
Hi, I'm you.
aka Undead K. You can find me over on Twitter at K_undead because Twitter is back afterwards. You can also find me on my own Twitch channel as well as a Facebook page in case people still use that. You can just simply search Undead K. And yes, I am doing a bunch of things this month, getting out of my funk to start up streaming again and all that shenanigans. So definitely check us out. And everyone stay safe and have a good one. And that's me. Oh yeah, and I've been Mia, Mia/Impmon. That's me. Done.
Michael, who are you?
I'm Michael Wayne. You give me a clip, I'll give you a GIF. I played Billy Bliss, whose final words of the episode was "Not the him, bro." Oh, yeah, you can find me Friday for Before the Spirals, part of the Indie Spotlight on GoJG channel. I was out for looking for a game. Maybe one day I'll play with you. Remember, we're all in this together. I'm pulling for you.
And finally, we have Vin. Vin, who are you?
Hello, my name is Kat. I am at Vindifully on most things on the internet. I usually stream Mondays and Thursdays on my Twitch channel. I'm currently having a sporadic thing. I'm like on semi hiatus. I don't know. Hopefully, I'll stream tomorrow. Hopefully, I feel good enough to do that. I played Katarina and her partner Kitty, and we just had a chill time. And her body is no longer on fire when she tries to run, so that's good.
All right, and with that, everybody, thank you very much. I will have this edited and all up on Monday because I am seemingly keeping to that schedule, which I am happy with. So until next time, stay safe and happy adventures.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.